Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM News 10 at 10, where we give you more news in less time. Let's get started. A windy afternoon settled a layer of dust all across in the northwest this evening. Right now you are seeing video from Riverside State Park and traffic cameras across the region. In some places like Grant County, visibility was so low the sheriff's office warned people to stay off the roads. On that note, let's get straight to Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Legoo to find out when these windy conditions die down. Jeremy?
Well, Mark, we're catching a slight, I don't want to say break because it's really not a break. Wind is going to continue to gust overnight, but it is ebbed a little bit from where it was just a couple of hours ago. As that wind eases overnight, don't expect it to end. Our wind advisories remain in effect through noon tomorrow because of how strong those winds will once again be. 49 miles per hour is our peak wind gusts in Spokane. Notice Coeur d'Alene at 38. That's why you're out of that wind advisory, but Moses Lake clocked a 54. It was quite windy across much of the region today. And even though we stay a little bit calmer overnight, we're still going to see gusts near 20 to 25 miles per hour. By the time the sun comes up tomorrow, it's blowing once again. We're going to see those gusts back up over 30 miles per hour. Wind is also accompanying a shift in the weather pattern that brings about a few more scattered showers. We'll see those overnight down across the southern portion of the Idaho Panhandle. A few scattered showers take us through the day tomorrow, but overall the big thing here is the wind followed by the drop in temps. Highs near 60 the next few days.
All right, sounds good, Jeremy. I'll check back in with you later in the show. Meantime, just into our newsroom, the Cooney County Sheriff's Office arrested a man in connection with a 20-year-old kidnapping and rape case. 49-year-old Eric Ferguson from Rathdrum was wanted by Oakley Police Department in California. His charges stem from the rape and kidnapping of an 18-year-old girl back in 2002. Deputies say Ferguson was 29 at the time and that he used a gun while committing the crimes. He's being held in the Cooney County Jail awaiting extradition. Well, nearly every item you own, your toothbrush, your bed frame, the makings of that daily cup of coffee, gets to you by truck. 80% of Washington communities rely on trucks alone for getting products where they need to be. But a crisis is looming. As Maddie White reports tonight, an Eastern Washington school district has a possible solution.
The forecast for the north, Puget Sound, including Friday Harbor.
These familiar sounds set a tempo for a job Bill Mannon has worked
Tonight, mostly clear.
for nearly 3 decades.
Our economy depends on trucks.
But lately, for Mannon, that tempo is sounding more and more to him like a ticking clock.
I've hauled everything.
One that's counting down the now handful of years he has left until retirement.
That light at the end of the tunnel is like right here now. And I can feel it.
But for the industry he's leaving behind, Mannon tells me he's scared.
You can make really good money. I just don't understand why nobody wants to go for it.
To replace retiring drivers like Mannon, American Trucking Association says over the next decade, the industry will need to recruit nearly 1.2 million new drivers. That's 1/3 of today's entire pool of truck drivers.
Highs in the lower to mid 70s.
And if the industry can't recruit more people to hit the road, there will be big consequences for all of us.
Without these trucks, then you're gonna have cargo ships sitting at docks trying to get somebody to haul that freight somewhere, and they're just gonna back up. So
There's a lot at stake.
lots of stake.
Food like the produce that comes from Washington's agricultural cities like this one, nearly 200 miles east of Seattle. It's where students of Othello High School, like Trey De Leon, call home.
Just don't say too much because everyone knows each other and your business will go around. So, I don't know.
They quickly learned it's not so much that they aren't interested in becoming truck drivers.
What's better than driving around listening to some jams?
Perhaps the shortage is more an
If
issue
you guys are in the classroom, go ahead and go grab your folders.
of opportunity.
As soon as you see it start getting slick, you guys have to slow down.
I've heard kids say, why should I even try? I'm just going to end up working in the field, in the orchards like my parents do.
Yep, that's going to be a big one.
Teachers here say the need for truckers is hard to ignore in Othello.
Othello is a highly agricultural community, a lot of truckers, and if you drive down the road, a lot of trucks are parked because there's no drivers.
It's a need Othello school district leaders recognized.
I'm not sure I ever thought I'd buy a semi.
The district bought a semi and a tanker for just over $21,000.
It's that Milky Way fleet. You see them everywhere.
After LTI, a Washington trucking company, gave them a discount.
Linkage to the steering.
And here you can see they are being studied by the inaugural class of Othello High School's brand new career and technical education course for 12th graders.
We're growing the pool of potential employees.
You think it was?
That's a mission. De Leon and his classmates, like Nelson Arias,
and that'd be good on my resume.
are willing to get behind.
Because you're helping the back of the bone of the United States, basically.
That was Maddie White reporting. The poverty rate in Othello is roughly twice that of the entire state, and expensive prerequisites to the program can cause a barrier for students. To hear more on that and to watch the full story, just head to our website. That's KREM.com. All right, new tonight, take a look at your screen. Spokane police arrested a man after an hour-long chase yesterday. Deputies say 35-year-old Benjamin Farnham ran a stop sign, and then when deputies tried to pull him over, they say he sped up and drove away. After deputies lost him, the Air One crew managed to follow Farnham until he pulled over in North Spokane. Deputies chased him on foot and eventually arrested him in that backyard right there. The sheriff's office says the car he was driving was stolen. They also learned that Farnham had a warrant out for his arrest. He has now been booked into the Spokane County Jail on several charges. And now to our night beat with a quick look at today's top stories. In less than 24 hours, the city of Spokane is holding a press conference to address the most recent vandalism to the downtown Pride crosswalk. Just hours ago, Spokane police said they found surveillance footage of arson. They say it appears several people dumped a liquid on the crosswalk and lit it on fire. This video is from earlier this afternoon as crews were cleaning off that mural. Spokane police say it happened at around 1:30 this morning, and it's not the first time this crosswalk has been vandalized. The city just repainted it less than a month ago after people threw paint and made skid marks on the mural late last year. Residents of a downtown Catholic Charities building are speaking out about a drastic rent increase. Some say they'll now pay double to live at the Cathedral Plaza with less than 2 months' notice before the increase. Today, the property manager said part of that increase will help them buy new properties, but residents say it's hard for them to fathom.
Well, this is the notice of rent increase, and it's gone up half. I mean, double what it was. It's $11.68, and it was $6.54. So it's going to make it really hard for me to pay any other bills I might have.
Catholic Charities is accepting appeals from people who can't afford the new rent prices, but residents say they won't get a response until June 15th, and the new rent prices go into effect July 1st. The Spokane Fire Department asking for help tonight identifying a man suspected of arson. According to SFD, surveillance video shows the suspect setting fire to a bush in West Central. Thanks to the quick work of firefighters, they managed to stop that fire from spreading to nearby buildings. If you have any information about the incident or this suspect, you're asked to call fire investigators. That number is right there at the bottom of your screen. And that was your Night Beat. To learn more about any of these stories, just head to our website. That's KREM.com.
I was 100% sure that we are going to die. I kept telling myself how that it's so not fair for those young little kids.
A survivor of the October 7th Hamas attack on Israel spoke in Spokane tonight. He talked about what it was like to be there the day the war started. He said his family had just moved to the village Hamas invaded on October 1st, 1 week before the attack. He showed security footage of Hamas operatives forcing their way into the village with guns. Hamas ended up setting up their base just 200 feet from their house. He says when Hamas moved their way in, his family heard bullets hitting their house. He said his kids were screaming, but he had to keep them quiet.
I knew exactly what's going on. I almost collapsed. And my wife, she started to say that I have to have some water. There's kids that counting on you, show them that everything is okay. But I knew that everything is not. Pretty much I just counted the minutes until they will kill me and my family.
Well, the family was trapped for more than 30 hours before they escaped. More than 100 people were at Lewis and Clark tonight for that presentation to hear the story. It is part of the Faces of October 7th program, bringing these stories to campuses all across the country. Meantime, a floating pier built by the U.S. military is now in place and ready to help provide desperately needed aid to people in Gaza. The U.S. says it will increase the quantity and flow of food, water, medicine, and temporary shelters. Gaza's need for aid has only grown in recent weeks as Israel prepares to launch an offensive against the southern city of Rafah. And that was your KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where you get more news in less time.